All the box lost just before trade, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
Did you join? Did you have a join?
You ready?
Ready.
I'd like to call the order the March 24th, 2026 meeting of the City of Southport Zoning Board of Adjustment here at 113 Westmore Street in Southport. I am Jason Robbins, Vice Chair of the board, sitting in place of Chairman Pete Hazlett, who is not able to attend today. Also here, board members Tuck Mesker, Roger Ross, John Allen, Steve Dozier. Mr. Dozier is going to be an active voting member tonight, regularly our alternate because of other absences on the attendance today. Before we move on, if you would, please rise if you're able or join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I think, board members, I think you all have copies of the minutes from the February 24th meeting. Is there, are there any proposed changes, omissions that we need to clarify?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes of the February 24th meeting are approved as written or as drafted. All right. Before, since this is Board of Adjustment, explain the quasi judicial process and explain the proceedings. The hearing is a quasi judicial evidentiary hearing. That means it's similar to a court hearing. State law sets specific procedures and rules concerning how this board must make its decision. These rules are different from other types of administrative and legislative land use decision. The board's discretion is limited. The board must make its decisions upon competent, relevant, and substantial evidence in the record. It is a decision constrained by the standards in the ordinance and based on the facts presented. If you will be speaking as a witness, please focus on the facts and standards, not personal preference or opinion. The meeting is open to the public. Parties abstaining have rights to participate fully. Parties limited to the applicant, the local government, and individuals who can show they have standing and will suffer special damages. Special damages may include parking, stormwater runoff, crime problem, or property value impacts. Proximity alone is not enough to prove such. Other individuals may serve as witnesses when called by the board. General witness testimony is limited to facts, not opinions. Individuals providing expert opinion must be qualified as experts and provide the factual evidence upon which they base their expert opinion. In each hearing, we will first hear from the town staff, then from the applicant, then the applicant's witnesses, then any opponents to the request. The applicant may choose to reserve time for rebuttal at the end. Parties may cross-examine the witness after the witness testifies when what questions are called for. If you want the board to see written evidence such as reports, maps, or exhibits, the witness who is familiar with the evidence should ask that it be introduced during or at the end of their testimony. Attorneys who speak should not give factual testimony, but they summarize their client's case with guidance from the board. I will correct you in proper procedures, and I will rule on all objections. Before you begin your testimony, please clearly identify yourself and your address or role in the record. There are no time limits on how long someone may speak, but please be considerate of everyone's time and concise with your comments. I can and will stop any testimony that is irrelevant to the application, incompetent, unduly repetitive of evidence already given, or a personal attack. Finally, by law, some kinds of evidence can only be given by an expert. For example, opinions about property values would need to be given by an appraiser, and opinions on stormwater would need to be given by a design professional. Parties in the cases are entitled to an impartial board. A board member may not participate in this hearing if he has a fixed opinion about the matter, a financial interest in the outcome of the matter, or a close relationship with an affected person. Board members, do any of you have any partiality to disclose or refusal to offer for the two special use permits in front of us this evening? Sure. Okay, hearing none, we'll go on. Has there been any ex parte communication between members of the board and applicants or people concerned with the outcome of either of these hearings?
No.
All right. Are there any objections from the parties or the public to us proceeding at this point? Okay. Very good. We'll proceed now to special use permit 2604, an accessory dwelling unit 206 West Moore Street. Please state your name and role and raise your right hand.
Wendell Biddle, city staff.
Do you swear, or excuse me, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony today?
I did.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair and gentlemen. Good evening. Grab the paper. Special use permit SUP 26-04 is a request by Mr. Rich Bandera on behalf of the property owners of 206 West Moore Street. They're seeking to convert an accessory structure into an accessory dwelling unit. Please note that neither the single-family residence nor the accessory structure have been built. However, both structures are under construction at this moment. This slide shows both the aerial image of the lot as well as the zoning designation of it and the surrounding lots. The lot is approximately 9,100 square feet, and it is zoned R10, as are all the adjacent properties are zoned R10 residential. Here we have another view of the lot taken from West Moore Street. This image depicts a single-family residence under construction. More images of the lot under construction. The image on the left is the single-family residence, and the dirt path between it and the silt fencing. I don't know if you guys can make out the silt fencing or not. It's right along that white picket fence there. That's going to be the driveway. There'll be access from West Moore Street, and it will bend to the right. That will feed into what is on the right side picture, which will be the accessory structure, which is essentially a detached garage with an upper story that is going to be proposed to be an ADU tonight. Here we find the site plan of the single-family residence and the accessory structure under construction. The ADU will have a 5-foot rear and a 5-foot side setback. And also, it will have an interior footprint of 444 square feet, while the detached garage below will have a 528 square foot footprint. The garage doors will be facing west, and the stairwell is facing east. So just so that we can get oriented here, again, the laser doesn't like the lights, I guess. But the arrows coming to and from, that's where the garage doors will be. To the back side of that structure will be the stairwell. And that's just between the 5-foot setback and the front, and the structure itself. So it doesn't encroach on the setback at this point. And again, the driveway will be coming off the West Moore Street, feeding, onto the west side of the residence and looping around to the back. And then, this right here is the stormwater retention collection, that was part of the design. As mentioned earlier, the garage doors will be the garage door will be 528 square feet, and the upper level ADU will measure 444 square feet. Here we see the elevation of the accessory structure. The image on the left is the western facade, while the image on the right is the eastern. And as identified in 3.1 of the UDO, the proposed accessory use requires a special use permit review and is to meet the specific use standards established in section 3.6 of the UDO. So section 3.6 of the UDO details the specific use standards required for an applicant's SUP. I'll read them off one by one. Number one, an accessory dwelling unit may be within, attached, or separate from the principal residential structure. And in this case, the proposed dwelling unit will be detached from the principal residential structure. Number two, the principal use of the lot shall be a detached single-family dwelling built to the North Carolina State Building Code standards, which this structure will be. Number three, no more than one ADU shall be permitted on a single deeded lot in conjunction with the principal residential structure. And to answer to that, there is not going to be another ADU on the lot. Number four, the ADU shall be owned by the same person as the principal residential structure. And that is the case. The ADU will be owned by the same person as the primary structure. Number five, the ADU shall not be served by a driveway separate from that serving the principal residential structure. And in which case that is not going to be the case. There's one driveway serving both structures. Six, there shall be a separate parking space for the ADU, subject to the off-street parking requirements. And the parking space will be available on the driveway. Seven, the ADU shall not exceed 800 square feet, in which case this one does not. The living space is 444 square feet, while the first floor garage will be 528. And then finally, number eight, detached garages with the second floor accessory res dwelling may not exceed the ground level building footprint area of 530 square feet. This structure does not. In summary, the special use permit seeks approval for an ADU that is 444 square feet and is on the upper level of a detached garage. Staff find that the application is complete and that the applicant's proposal meets all the residential accessory dwelling unit standards established in the UDO. I can answer any questions regarding this presentation or the staff report. And the applicant is here and can be called upon to answer any technical questions related to the building. Thank you.
Board, do y'all have any questions for Mr. Biddle?
I don't know what the stormwater criteria you mentioned.
I don't know the specifics on this case, as that's not part of the case itself. Basically, if you, I just wanted to highlight it on the site plan. I don't know if you guys can see it right there. Oh, this laser works way better back here.
Okay.
Basically, that's part of the design is they have a stormwater retention. They develop more than a lot of amount that requires stormwater retention.
Is there a impervious amount?
There is now. There's a new UDO stormwater text amendment that came out maybe 6 months ago, in which we have a limit of, let's say, 8,000 square feet of impervious ground cover requires stormwater mitigation.
And that would apply to this.
Correct, yes, sir.
Wendell, so the ADU is already under construction, is that correct?
The accessory structure is under construction.
They call the ADU?
We don't call it ADU until you guys grant the permits, and then they can get a building permit to make it a dwelling space.
Okay.
But they can still build as they are. They might build that structure. Yes, sir.
It's allowed right now.
Correct.
So Wendell, the dashed line that identifies as it works its way around the property, that's for the existing primary residence.
That's gonna be for both the primary and the proposed, and neither of which are existing right now. They're both under construction. But yes, so this hash mark, pathway, let me highlight it over here. It did work earlier. That's the driveway that's gonna serve both structures.
But,
No, but I guess what I'm saying is, for instance, where it says 18-foot rear setback, it cuts right through the middle of the ADU. In fact, that line's gonna now be relaxed to 5 feet.
Yeah, all right, so it's a great question, sir. That 18-foot setback is for the single family residence.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and because it's a non-conforming lot, they have a reduced rear setback. So, yeah, that 18-foot rear setback, that's just for concerning the single family residence that doesn't have their proposed accessory structure.
The generator platform, that's proposed as well.
Yes, sir. And that can encroach into, there's exceptions that allow HVAC and equipment, pool equipment, et cetera, that can encroach into the setbacks. This is kind of it's a funky lot size. That's why you have this little flag in at the back of it. The developer did as good a job with designing this as I think they could have, and get everything that they wanted to. So with the lesser setbacks, they still made this work.
Anything else from the board right now?
Thank you. I'm gonna leave the site plan up if you guys would like to discuss it.
The applicant have anything to add at this time? State redeem
Rich Bandera, 409 North Burlington Ave, in Southport.
you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth on this matter?
I think Wendell went through all the points and criteria just to clarify a few things, that may not have been brought up. This stormwater retention system is relatively recent within the ordinance, and it applies to, a residential site like this. The design went through the city engineering in the, UDO language to manage both the structure and the single family residence. All of it is managed on this property. The driveway is considered pervious, so that is not part of it. The other thing that's on my drawings as far as encroachment into the rear yard calculation is that the proposed accessory structure doesn't reduce the percentage. There's anything over 50% of encroachment is not allowed to do that. And the remaining rear yard in this case is 70% of the rear yard area where the accessory structure is located. That's really all I have to add. Thank you.
Any question?
Impervious material.
It's called,
Come to the microphone.
oh, sorry. It's the pervious material is 57 it's stone, it's crushed stone.
So it's gonna be stone.
It's 4 inches thick with filter cloth, and under the DEQ, I guess the guidelines, they consider that pervious. You know, so that's what is, so that is not factored into the stormwater calculation.
Anything else from the applicant? Or is there anybody else who wishes to be heard on this matter? Do you have anybody sign up?
I didn't see anything.
Any other questions that people want us to ask before we close the hearing to discuss? Okay. Hearing portion is closed. And, board, do your thing. Any points of discussions that you want to go into before we hit the motions? Hearing none, do I hear a motion on number one?
Right, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong place. I was looking. I'll take that in a second and read it out. So let's see. What page number it is? 53. All right, make a motion, the use will not materially endanger the public health, safety, or general welfare if located where proposed and developed according to the plan submitted and approved. Finding of fact being, the proposal meets all required stormwater setback and parking requirements.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Motion 2.
The use meets all required conditions, specifications, finding of fact, complies with all spec ETO requirements.
Do I hear a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion 3.
The use will not adversely affect the use or any physical attribute of adjoining or abutting property, or that the use is a public necessity. Finding of fact is based on the site plans presented, the various views of the architectural elevations, and the explanation of site circulation and parking.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion 4.
Location and character of the use, if developed according to plans submitted and approved, proposed accessory dwelling unit will be in harmony with the area which is to be located and in general conformity with the city of Southport comprehensive plan. Finding of facts are that it meets the same requirements as other ADUs in that neighborhood. And therefore is in harmony with the other structures. And it also conforms with the city of Southport comprehensive plan.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So the 12 points for test is, do we have general motion on whether to approve or deny the special use permit?
Based on the findings of fact and the evidence presented, the Board of Adjustment recommends approval of the special use application with conditions including the following: the ADU will not be rented out separately from the primary residence.
Any other conditions? Any stipulation to abide by the plan as presented in the application? Don't feel good about it.
You're saying things out, right,
So I hear a motion. Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. Pat? Maybe in a break.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Vice Chair. Anyone more?
Before you start, Cheyenne, are we good on sound now?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Moving on, we'll continue the special use permit, we will continue the special use permit hearing on application SUP 2601 for 316 West Moore Street. Wendell, you're up. I remind you, you remain under oath.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I appreciate that, reminder. And, good evening again, gentlemen. Tonight we're here for special use permit 26-01 for a second time. Is a request by Solstice LLC on behalf of the property owners of 316 West Moore Street for seeking to convert an accessory structure into an accessory dwelling unit. I would like to draw your attention to the 11x17 printout I gave you. After I submitted my staff report, I forwarded a copy of which to the applicants, and they were like, oh, hey, we also want you to share this landscape plan. Unfortunately, at that point, it was too late to amend the staff report, so that's why you guys have a printout of it. This request was continued from the February 24th meeting, wherein there was some confusion as to the orientation of the proposed structure and the driveway that was to serve it and single-family residence. Before I get to those details, however, allow me to present some preliminary points of note. This slide shows both the aerial image of the lot as well as the zoning designation of it and the surrounding lots. For the record, the lot is approximately 8,200 square feet. It is zoned R10 and mostly bordered by R10 single-family residences, except for a business district parcel across from West Moore Street. Here we have a view of the lot taken from West Moore Street. This image depicts the single-family residence and accessory structure in the background. Concrete pathway is approximately 10 feet in width. Actually, I should amend that. The measurement from the fence to the side of the house is a little more than 10 feet in width. And does not, nor has it ever served as the residence driveway. Please note that the existing accessory structure is non-conforming and must be demolished and rebuilt to meet the contemporary floodplain, building code, and zoning standards. Here we find the site plan of the existing single-family residence and accessory structure. Again, this is of the structure being in a legal non-conforming situation because it meets it has a 2.5 foot side setback. Therefore, to be able to do the ADU, they have to move the structure over to the right and meet the contemporary setbacks and floodplain standards, etc. The applicant is set to demolish the existing structure and rebuild further into the lot so that the new accessory structure will meet contemporary floodplain standards, building codes and 5 foot side setback, all of which is by right land use for the homeowner. What is being requested of this board, however, is to turn the upper level of the 2-story structure into an accessory dwelling units. And again, just for orientation purposes, the arrow is our north arrow there. They are addressed off of West Moore Street. There's, at some points, the width of that pathway is 11.5 feet, but in other areas, I see that the width is 10 feet from the property line to the house. This proposed accessory structure will meet the 5 foot side setback, and then it's going to meet like an 18 foot rear setback, 25 foot rear setback, excuse me. And then to the back of it, that is where the stone driveway, that currently and will continue to serve as their driveway be, coming off of Brunswick Street. Here we have the elevation, the barn door, the image on the left, the barn door facing the will face the single residence. So the existing structure has a garage door and a garage door on both sides. And I think when, last month when we talked about this, when they just did away with one garage door, we got the assumption that they rotated the structure. That's not the case, and unfortunately, I just wasn't that versed into it, that I can tell you otherwise. However, no, the structure is going to remain the same orientation. It's just they are going to do away with one garage door, the one facing the residence, and put in barn doors. And then the rear, the one that's facing Brunswick Street and will serve as the driveway, that's where they're going to keep the remaining garage door. Side view of the elevation. And then our little table 3.1 of the UDO. Dictating why we're here today, is for an accessory dwelling units, in the R10, they require a special use permit, and it has to meet specific use standards. These use standards are: number one, an accessory dwelling unit may be within, attached, or separate from a principal residential structure. The response to that is that the proposed dwelling unit will be detached from the residential structure. Two, the principal use of the lot shall be a detached single-family dwelling built to North Carolina Building Code. And the response to that is that the principal use of the lot is for single-family dwelling units, and that the primary structure is an existing single-family residence, address off of West North Street. Three, no more than one ADU shall be permitted on single deeded lots, and there will not be another ADU allowed on that lot. Four, the ADU shall be owned by the same person as the principal residential structure. And in which case that is going to be the case. Five, the ADU shall not be served by a driveway separate from serving the principal residential structure. And as we painted the picture, the structure will be served by the same driveway that serves a single family residence. This driveway is accessed from Brunswick Street and not West Moore Street. Six, there shall be a separate parking space for the ADU subject to the off-street parking requirements. And the response to that is that there will be one on the driveway. Seven, the ADU shall not exceed 800 square feet. This proposed ADU will be 530 square feet. Eight, detached garages with second floor central residential dwelling may not exceed a ground level building footprint area of 530 square feet. This structure does not. In conclusion, the special use permit seeks approval for an ADU that is 530 square feet and is on the upper level of a detached garage. Staff find that the application is complete and that the applicant's proposal meets all the residential accessory dwelling unit standards established in the UDO. Can I answer any board questions regarding this presentation or the staff report? Thank you.
Could you carefully walk us through item 5?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Because it says the structure will be served by the same driveway that serves a single family residence. If I look on a map, if I'm reading it correctly, primary residence up here, existing concrete drive to remain, the one up here.
That pathway has not ever been used as a driveway. They've always used the Brunswick Streets, right away.
Okay, so it's mislabeled. I want to make sure we're clear on this because it says concrete drive.
Yes.
Which reads drive to the, I don't want to die on it, but yeah.
It does have.
Yeah, it's already there. It's existing, but it goes all the way back. Very narrow on the west side.
What is the standard width for a driveway?
20 feet.
At least, yeah.
And
At minimum, they-
I mean,
I don't think we have one in our TDO as of.
putting in an application to put in a driveway would be the minimum building standard.
20 feet.
So it's basically, it's a stall, it's not a drive. That's where I'm going.
Loaded that feet's wider than my.
Inside.
And if you draw your attention to the landscape plan, they have designs to make that like an oasis, a well landscape oasis.
Oh, yeah.
And they're taking up some of that existing concrete driveway with landscaping on both sides.
Right.
The way this is, you want it to drive through there and around.
My concern is if they're going to do that, then it makes a lot more sense. But if it quacks like duck and walks like duck, you know, drive a car through there, it's a driveway. So I just want some definite clarity. This is not going to be a concrete path for cars.
Right, yes, sir.
And that is your understanding?
Yes, sir. It is not going to be concrete.
And they are going to lift some of the pavement from
Yes,
this
sir.
area?
For their landscape purposes.
But the person will still be able to park on the concrete pad?
That's the issue.
I imagine if the board were to condition not to do so, they wouldn't.
Then why not take it out?
Here's the deal. The address of this place is 316 West Main Street. That means that paint vehicular access through that address, the primary residential house has the address of 316 West Moore Street. That means that West Moore Street serves as the access to that house, not Brunswick. I'm not getting away from the practical nature of that they come in and out of Brunswick. I get it. I walk up and down Brunswick all. But you can make an argument that slot up there is a de facto drive for single family house. And that the ADU is going to use a separate driveway for that. You could make the argument. I'm not saying that is the argument, but I think that argument could be made. And I just want to be careful about that condition 5 to make sure as a unit, we're okay with that.
Do we have any requirements that does not allow, say, a car here? And then have the driveway back here?
Not that I can think of as far as,
So,
not like a land use.
I mean, after you can get, if you get the car out off the road, you could park there. And you could park also in the back. There any problem with that?
Can I be sworn in, please?
Please.
Sorry. Can't get the phone call with my. Sorry.
State your name and role, please.
Pardon me, I'm manager of Business Oxford.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and that the testimony, excuse me, let me start over. You swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Thank you very much for letting me come up and speak. I think that one important point to consider in this, the existing condition of the property as it stands. Right now, both drives exist. They're not constructing a new driveway for the ADU itself. So regardless if they were asking for an ADU, they would still be allowed to keep the existing drive off of Brunswick Street and the pathway / driveway off of Westmore as well. So they are existing and they would be able to enter either way regardless of the ADU.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Questions for Mr. Bell? Anything else?
Oh, okay. Did you guys apply the impervious to this
No,
because of the existing?
it's all existing, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anything from the applicant? Does anybody else present wish to give a statement on this matter or ask a question? Or anything else you want to call somebody back up about? Close the hearing. Discussion before we get started on the motions? If there's not anything general on the application, then I'll entertain motion on it.
Make a motion, for number one, use will not materially endanger public health, safety, or general welfare if located where proposed and developed to the plan as submitted and approved. Finding of facts being it meets all required floodplain setback and parking requirements.
Do I hear a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Question number two.
The use meets all required conditions, specifications, finding of fact, as submitted. It adheres to all UDO plan specifications by the city of Southport.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Opposed. That's, Mr. Metzger proposed. Motion three.
Make a motion, I'm sorry, this, well, I have lost my place. Motion for the use will not adversely affect the use of physical attributes adjoining or abutting properties, or finding of fact the additional square footage is only on the second level. No, I'm sorry. Go back to the original. All right, the use, startup, use will not adversely affect the use or any physical attribute adjoining or abutting property, whether the use is a public necessity. With the finding of facts being that it is similar to other ADUs in this area of the city and meets setback requirements.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I'll agree with the second part, not the first part, that's okay.
So we have one motion to
Yeah.
vote on, so do y'all want to talk some more about that?
It meets the bulk criteria. I just don't know if it's, and I understand what John's saying. I think when you take it as a whole, it's very consistent with the other ADUs. It's just that I'm above driveway. That's what makes it a little unique compared to all the other ADUs that we've seen thus far. So,
Yeah, but we also take, because it's existing, we take that into consideration, right? Because the footprint's a footprint, and what's there is there.
does that driveway serve that house? Where's the sidewalk that connects this driveway around the ADU connection to the primary house? Show me that. Show me where you drive in and park and drive and walk to the primary house. Does it?
Yeah.
No,
No, I understand.
that's all I'm saying.
The one-
Because that's what number 5 says. The same driveway that serves the ADU serves the primary house. And if we're saying that the back, that driveway
Right,
off Brunswick serves the ADU, then it must also serve the primary house. Okay, fine. I drive in off of Brunswick, I turn in, I park my car, open my door, I step out. Show me how I walk.
right.
That's the new walkway. The man saved me. I'm good. I didn't see it.
Nice job.
All that,
I didn't see it.
Hey, the wheels of justice finds grind slow. Fine.
You just say.
Rodney Paz, we failed.
We have a motion stated in the closed section for
I
that.
agree with what you're on there.
So that's a second. All in favor?
Yeah.
Any opposed? Didn't see that. Motion 4.
Location and character of the use of developed according to plans submitted and approved. The proposed accessory dwelling unit will be in harmony with the area which it is to be located, general conformity, city of Southport comprehensive plan. Finding of fact, meets all of UDO and city of Southport requirements.
And can we include in there 2020 that it's in compliance with 2025 comprehensive plan? Sure.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. 4 points have been decided. Is there a motion on whether to approve or deny the application?
Based on the findings of fact and evidence presented, I move that the board recommend approval of the special use application with the condition that the ADU cannot be rented separately from the main structure.
Did I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I think
Chairman, for the record, can I rescind my previous, is the one objection I had was pay respect. I flat out, I'll admit it to everybody here, I did not see that. Had I seen it, I would have been fine.
It's
reflect unanimous.
Yes.
In on all.
Absolutely. That's why I wanted to make sure that.
that's good.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Joe. Sorry.
Any other business today? Board members, anything we need to?
I'd like to find out, do you know what the impervious ratio is?
So it's, 8,000 square feet impervious, or I want to say 500 square feet disturbed. Please don't quote me on that. I can get back to you first thing in the morning with that answer.
I'm just curious to see what the criteria the city's using.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
So if it's above those,
yeah, if they hit 8,001 square feet impervious, you need to mitigate the stormwater. And if, you just
800 square feet addition.
800.
It's an existing law.
Okay, and an 800 square foot addition if it's an existing lot. I'll email the board, our stormwater, calculations tomorrow morning.
And this is for any infill lot or just particular?
Yes.
Okay.
So, straight me out, we 8,000,
Square feet of impervious ground cover.
okay, 8,000 square feet.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that would
the
be,
impervious area.
the foundation, driveway.
Anything that's impervious.
What about the pool?
No, water does not count. But the edging would,
Mhm.
yeah, so your decking, if it's not dirt, your decking, but, water doesn't count.
What about a dirt floored shed?
That's that personal.
Sorry. Any other business today? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Move from
Second,
Second.
meeting is